Standards of perfect human nature. Shui Feng. As far as an individual is concerned, perfect on material, the symbol of a perfect soul. Non-material structure of life. Xie Feng. April 14, 2010. Translated by Tsong Long and edited by Kayer. There is no absolute perfection, only relative perfection. There are different symbols of perfection for the non-material structure of each level of life. Different life beings have different standards of perfection. What I am saying here is referring to the symbol of the 1,000-year world celestials. If you reach the standard below, you are eligible to live in the 1,000-year world. Your nature is fully exhibited, and you have no shame. Adam and Eve were nude and shameless in the beginning, but they later had shame and were dismissed from Eden to live on earth. If they had wanted to go back to Eden, they would have needed to return to their nature and eliminate the feeling of shame. Jesus once said, "I tell you the truth, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Children have no shame, they just follow their nature and they are not fettered. Nature is the state of Buddhahood, without shame and letting one's nature be displayed entirely so that they can return to the kingdom of heaven. All creatures, even a blade of grass and a piece of wood, are your friends, and you never hurt any insects or birds. You are one with heaven and earth, you coexist harmoniously with everything, you are friends with plants, and even insects and birds are your friends, and you never hurt any life. You are innocent and artless as a child and good at playing and entertaining. The 1,000-year world is a place of happiness and joy. If you cannot reach the state of innocence and artlessness, you will not be able to live in the 1,000-year world. You are worry-free and carefree when going anywhere, and you treat people you meet as your family. You are absolutely selfless and nothing can bother you. You see every place as your home. Everyone likes you and you like everyone you meet. You do not have the idea of differentiation and you treat everybody equally. You own nothing, possess no one, are never jealous, and never compare yourself with others. You are well integrated into nature and the community, you own nothing, nor do you possess those whom you love. You are not jealous of your fellows, you only praise and love them. You never compare yourself with others. You are healthy, positive, and optimistic, and never have negative feelings. You are mentally and emotionally healthy, positive, optimistic, and you never have negative feelings. You always bring happiness and fun to the people around you, you never hesitate or worry, and you are not even on your guard against anything. You are ordinary and keep a low profile, and you never hate anyone or try to feel superior. You do not have the feeling of lowliness or nobleness, superiority or inferiority. You only react when you feel the call in your heart, you are able to adapt yourself to any circumstance. You never act out of bravado or pick on anybody. You never have the desire to manage or control others, and you do not know hatred, discontentment, or what outstanding and superior are. You do what you like, but within boundaries. You are free and unrestrained but even-tempered. You revere the greatest creator, life, and nature, and you maintain these values. You love life and all creatures. You are always grateful and you get along well with the group. You do not have neither bad habits nor a bad temper. You never complain or get angry, and you never make mischief among people, but you never swallow insult and humiliation silently or allow your will to be abused. You are free and unfettered. If you have ascended to the above 8 standards, you have reached the first milestone and have stepped into the group of celestials. You can further self-cultivate on this basis to qualify to live in 10,000-year world and the Elysium world. The Road Map of Life and Life. Shui Feng. Translated by Tsong Long and edited by Kayer. Life Genuine faces directly to life and life. Life and life are two relevant but completely different concepts. Life is only a short journey of life on earth, not the whole contents of life. As a devoted cultivator, first we need to know the meaning, value and purpose of life and life, otherwise, our life is confused, and we will not have a beautiful future for life. As for life and life, Life Genuine has stated a lot to explain them deeply. Everyone who wants to understand what life and life are should read them. If what I have explained are not comprehensive, they can enlighten you at least. In order for us to understand the value and meaning of life, or the purpose of life, first we have to be clear on the origin of humanity, and the coordinate point and coordinate system humans are situated in the universe, our position in the vast life universe system, and the role we play in the universe. We will eventually realize that the value and purpose of life, when we are alive, we should live in happiness, freedom and joy. We can also know this from our body structure, and get inspiration from blue sky, white cloud, mountains and rivers, from the blooming flower, sun and moon, from sunshine, rain, dew and the flying birds. How we can get a happy, joyful, free and blessed life. Firstly, we need to know what is moral. The behaviors and actions we do to maintain our nature of origin is called moral. Any way of act that is against our nature is immoral. To put it in more details, any theory, behavior, or lifestyle which is able to bring a happy, joyful, free life is moral. Any theory, behavior, or lifestyle which stops or prevents people from leading a happy, joyful, free life is immoral. When we look at the history and current situation of humanity, we can see that humans have been leading an immoral life. The existence of nuclear family, country, religion and political party is immoral. In particular, the marriage, nuclear family and country are very immoral, which impede people leading a happy, joyful and free life. In other words, any theory, doctrine, constitution, law, behavior that praises marriage, nuclear family and country is immoral. Since they are immoral, we need to get away from marriage, nuclear family, country, religion and political party. Where should we go? We need to listen to the teachings and guidance of Jesus Christ, Buddha Sakyamuni, Celestial Lao Tzu, Prophet Muhammad, and all other saints and sages in human history. We can get away from marriage and nuclear family by living in the new oasis for life of Life Genuine. Initiating a new era where all religions integrate into one belief system, all dharma return to source, where the talented will be put to good use, and the whole world will be one family. No one would pocket anything found on the ground, and doors are not bolted at night. Everything will be in complete harmony, and everyone will be happy and free, will help us get away from country, religion and political party. How to get away from nuclear family, religion, country and political party. For those who are not married, if you don't marry anybody, you get away from marriage. For those who are married, the most effective way is to take care of your parents and children first with all your heart, pay off your debts and finish all secular affairs, enter the new oasis for life with your spouse together. When most people in the world are willing to live in a lifestyle of the new oasis for life, country, political party and religion will disappear automatically. The above only refers to life. Speaking of life, life is a non-material structure with spiritual sense. The life form, its existence style, and living environment is dependent on the life structure. We can understand this by observing the life form and existence style of animals like rat, dog, ox, sheep, pig, etc. To understand life, we first need to know what is non-material world, the source and future of our life. We also need to know the meaning and secret of time and space. As far as human beings are concerned, the most beautiful future for them is the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world. These worlds are not feigned or imagined by someone. This is an effect and necessity caused by the law of sum of positive and negative energy. It is just like Mercury, Saturn and Mars in the solar system are necessity, and the 7 apertures, hair, arms and legs, organs of human body are necessity. How can we go to the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world? Very simple, the reality is manifested by our consciousness. Whatever consciousness we have corresponding reality. That is to say, when we possess the consciousness of the celestials in the 1,000-year world, we can go to the 1,000-year world. Likewise, if we possess the consciousness of the celestials in the 10,000-year world, we can go to the 10,000-year world. If we possess the consciousness of the Buddhas in the Elysium world, we can go to the Elysium world. When we possess the consciousness and quality of super-celestial beings, we can go to the Celestial Islands continent, one of the Elysium worlds. However, there is an issue. Life has gravity, which is directly related to our debts and karma. In other words, we have to pay off the debts we accumulated in our previous lives and settle and finish secular affairs, otherwise, our dream is just a dream. In Bible, Jesus told us, if we still have debts, even 1 penny, we will not be able to get away from that place. So how can we pay off debts and settle our secular affairs as soon as possible? Buddha Sakyamuni has already given us a direction in the book Diamond Sutra. The answer is formless alms giving, because its return is inconceivable. How do we do formless alms giving? The best way is to take part in the process of building Life Genuine and initiate a brand new Life Genuine era. All people, no matter they are white, black or yellow, no matter they are rich, poor or middle class, no matter they are president, minister or civilian, no matter they are prostitute, thief or robber, let's try to make everyone lead a happy, free and blessed life, at the same time, restore the beauty of Mother Earth. How can we take part in Life Genuine cause, and create a Life Genuine era for humanity? Very simple, act according to the teachings of Lao Tzu in Tao Te Ching. Therefore the sage embraces the One, and becomes the model of the world. Through possession of the One, the heaven was clarified. Through possession of the One, the earth was stabilized. Through possession of the One, the gods were spiritualized. Through possession of the One, the valleys were made full. Through possession of the One, all things lived and grew. What is the core of One? The core of One is the way of the greatest Creator. Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, warned us in the Quran, O company of jinn and men, if ye can overpass the bounds of the heavens and the earth, then overpass them. But by our leave only shall ye overpass them. So who should we rely on? Allah, the greatest Creator. We need to revere the greatest Creator and walk on His way. There is one more important thing we need to note, that is we need saved treasure in heaven, because Jesus taught us, for where your wealth is, there will your heart be, so for where your heart is, there will your future be. As a cultivator, we need to accumulate merits, which are our wealth in heaven, and the biggest merit is to pioneer Life Genuine era for humanity. Wish everyone realize his dreams. The only purpose of becoming a Chanyuan celestial is to accomplish the spiritual state of immortality. On one's own. Xiefeng. December 4, 2011. Translated by Treasure and edited by Kayer. A spiritual state of immortality is peerless, correct, and perfect enlightenment, also the most perfect end result. To accomplish the spiritual state of immortality on one's own means that after being tested by desire, anger, ignorance, jealousy, and pride, and surviving calamity in hardship, one can finally acquire enlightenment and perceive nature, realize the secrets of life and life, then achieve Buddhahood fruit or the super-celestial being fruit, reach the Celestial Islands continent of the Elysium world, be free from the samsara and free from all confusion, and enjoy the boundless joy and pleasure of life. To accomplish a spiritual state of immortality on one's own is the only purpose of becoming a Chanyuan celestial. There is no other purpose except this one. The way to become a Chanyuan celestial and accomplish the spiritual state of immortality is this. You need to read Chanyuan Corpus and Xiefeng Corpus, and understand the profound mystery of life, time, and space. You need to work hard to pay off and eliminate all your debts from many generations in the mortal world and sever your associated ties, and enter the new oasis for life. You need to take part in the construction of the new oasis for life, clean up the dust and dirt from your soul garden and beautify it by doing formless almsgiving, free yourself from the universal gravitation of life in the mortal world, accumulate merits and virtues, and finally leave for the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or the Celestial Islands continent of the Elysium world. In order to accomplish the spiritual state of immortality, you must observe strictly the road map of the guide, otherwise it will be hard to accomplish the spiritual state of immortality. Therefore, you will not pursue any of the following 8 purposes anymore. No longer pursue other roads, but only take the way of the greatest Creator. No longer pursue money, power, status, fame, or have lust, but abandon your ego and achieve the realm of freedom from ego and freedom from form. Do not educate others or deliver any beings from torment anymore, but concentrate on your own achievements. Do not participate in any other activities or organizations anymore, but act in accordance with your nature and unite with Tao. Never show yourself off, but live and work earnestly and faithfully by following the teachings of Jesus Christ and Buddha Sakyamuni. Never attempt to achieve vigorous careers, have ambition, be competitive with a secular government, or turn against any person, organization, or group, but accept things as they are, cherish the present, thank everyone, and remain humble. No longer argue, debate, quarrel, fight, scramble, or struggle for anything or with anyone, but be flexible and act tactfully, knowing to smile to the subtle metaphysics, and learn all the secrets. Do not consider yourself as someone great or extraordinary anymore, but as the humblest, most ordinary, most common life in the world. Therefore, after entering the new oasis for life, you need to no longer pour out your woes or complaints, but build up your own soul garden. No longer display yourself anywhere, but endeavor to pursue doing your duty at a first-class level of quality. No longer bother with others or regard other people's business, but concentrate on your own perfection. No longer find fault with others or cavil at anything, but concentrate your attention toward realizing yourself. No longer carp at, educate, or guide others, but implement the theory which you have learned into your own words and behavior. Concentrate on whether every little thing you do is accord with the teachings of gods, Buddha, celestial beings and sages, and not be concerned with others. No longer pursue material interests and comforts, but pursue the abundance of the spirit and soul. No longer discuss or comment on others, nor stir up enmity and make mischief, but pursue coexistence in harmony with every brother and sister. Be a simple and honest person, not a shrewd and capable person. Be a sincere and frank person, not a scheming and defensive person. Be a natural person who can spontaneously play a game or have fun like a child, not a sanctimonious little hypocrite whose flattering lips speak with deception. The self-cultivation and self-refining in life genuine are different than any other kind in history. The traditional forms of self-cultivation and self-refining do not work in life genuine. This is full coordinate and holographic self-cultivation and self-refining. To be a Chanyuan celestial, you must rid yourself of inherent consciousness, thinking, and habits, but realize yourself with the whole new thinking and the whole new way, then accomplish the spiritual state of immortality. Our primary prayer. Xiefeng. Translated by Treasure and edited by Kayer. To the Supreme Master of the Universe, Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. You are the cradle of life and the birthplace of wisdom, and I sincerely thank you for bestowing life upon me. I am but a blade of grass between mountains, a grain of sand in the oceans, and you blessed me with spirituality so that I can enjoy the wonders of nature. I used to be obsessed with the mortal world and was unaware of what truth, goodness, and beauty are, or what falsity, evil, and ugliness are, and my words and deeds had often offended heaven and earth, counter to your will. I repent deeply and beg sincerely for you to forgive me for my sins. I am willing to be your servant, to follow the way that you guide me, and to receive punishment for my transgressions. Beloved Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. Thank you deeply, for you have always understood my heart and have shown mercy on this tiny life of mine by allowing me to enter life genuine. No matter how boundless the universe is, it cannot exceed your supernatural power. No matter how deep the rivers are, they are shallower than your wisdom. I am willing to repent and become a new person. I will support and honor my parents, care for my wife, love my children, and create a harmonious and happy family. I will lead a simple life and no longer pursue illusory things. I will no longer compete with others. I will no longer drift through life and waste my time. I will love life deeply and maintain my health. I will love nature and never cut down grass and trees at will, kill creatures, or discard filth. I will no longer allow the ignorant to waste my precious time or allow meaningless things to deprive me of my physical and spiritual freedom. Bathed in the light of your wisdom, I dedicate myself to self-cultivation, proceeding with neither hesitation nor regrets. Almighty Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. I no longer misunderstand you with my own shallow knowledge, please forgive my previous ignorance and stupidity. I am a mere mortal now and know little about the universe, life, and nature's mysteries, so I need some time to understand them before I reach the realm of wisdom. I pray for you to give me health, wealth, and freedom. May you keep my loved ones safe and give me more guidance so that I will be transformed and reborn and overcome all worldly thoughts in order to attain sainthood as soon as possible. Omnipresent Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. I am eager to receive your supervision to test me at any time and in any way. When the rosy dawn bathes the earth and the red sun rises from the east, your servant will have risen up, cleaned up, and begun a new day of life in good spirits. Frustration, failure, displeasure, and dissatisfaction have left me, and I will let nature take its course and not chase success stubbornly. I want to enjoy every little bit of my life, even in the face of all misfortune, with a smile. When the bright moon hangs in the sky and the wind blows softly across the field, your servant will have washed away all the dust and dirt around and will be reading and meditating under a lamp. Supreme Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. I pray to you in the name of Jesus Christ, Buddha Sakyamuni, and Muhammad, PBUH, and approach you with self-improvement. Please accept your servant and fulfill my wish. Amen. Our Intermediate Prayer. Siafeng. Translated by Treasure and edited by Kayer. Master of all gods, Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. You are the prime mover of the universe, the energy center of the supernatural world, the spring in the desert, the beacon in the fog, and I sincerely thank you for endowing me with wisdom. After several years of self-improvement and self-cultivation, I can see the structure of the Earth's universe clearly, understand 36-dimensional spaces, and know the reasons and processes for the rises and falls of life in different spaces so that I can escape the wrong path in order to sense the true meaning of life. I have acquired knowledge about life, learned the purposes and values of time and space, and seen a much larger, more wonderful, and more perfect universe than I had previously imagined. You have shown me thousands of worlds that I will never fly over even at the speed of light and across millions of years of time. O my Lord, Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. Since I have known you, I have always lived in a state of inspiration and excitement. I cannot express my gratitude and praise or extol to you in words, just see the biological wave around my body, my amplitude, my wavelength and frequency have been completely transformed. O Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator who has created everything in the universe. I can achieve perfect human nature with your favor and transcend over vulgarity with your patient guidance. I have renounced material desire, conquered death, and transcended time and space. After only a few years in the mortal world, I have reached the realm that ordinary people never attain even after dozens of cycles of samsara and across hundreds of years. The key factor for my leap of spiritual quality lies in my full and sincere faith in you. As Jesus taught us, if your faith were only as great as a grain of mustard seed, then even if you tell a mulberry tree to be uprooted and planted in the sea, it would be done. This is the truth, where faith comes, iron and steel melt, cancer disappears, demons are defeated, and even heaven and earth can be reversed. The perfect Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, Greatest Creator. In the past, I thought that a blissful state of life should be described as seasonal rain falling after a long drought, meeting an old friend in a distant land, holding a loved one on a wedding night, or as a name that is listed as a winning candidate, but now I know the infinitely splendid wonderland that exceeds the above by 1,000 times, even 10,000 times. Every cell in my body is joyous and excited, every nerve in my body sings and dances. Oh, greatest Creator! All that I have attained is from your gifts. I could never have entered this splendid wonderland without your wisdom. Once again, I sing praise to you, extol you, and thank you sincerely. Heavenly and benevolent Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, greatest Creator. You have polished and refined me from a rough rock to a shining gemstone and have guided me from a confused, troubled, and low-realm life into a pure, carefree, and top-grade one, and freed me from the shackles and fetters of the ordinary and allowed me to sense real relaxation and pleasure. In the past, I was sad when I encountered troubles, complained when I was set back, was frustrated when I met obstacles, and was negative and pessimistic when I experienced adversity. I was so childish and ridiculous. It was you who cleared the thick fog in front of my life and made me see clearly that people are just wandering around aimlessly and disorderly in the mortal world so that I could understand the law of causality and find the best way of life. Peerlessly wise Allah, Ancestor of Buddha, greatest Creator. Although I have transcended over vulgarity, comparing my wisdom with yours would be like comparing an oil lamp swaying in a storm to the mighty sun. My wisdom is like drops of water percolating through seams and rocks, while yours is like the roaring ocean. I pray for you to guide me, spur me on, encourage me constantly, and bestow more wisdom upon me so that I will be able to climb the towering mountains that prevent me from perceiving my nature and appreciating the magnificent view of other amazing worlds. Insightful greatest Creator. I have just reached the first floor. Though I have achieved perfect human nature, Satan will never stop tempting me. He will allure me and deceive me and I might commit sins. I pray for you to forgive me continuously with moderate punishments so that my sins in this life will be offset in this life. No matter how rough the future might be, I will continue along my journey of self-cultivation even though it is very long and never stop self-improving even though the goal is very far. Most kind and merciful greatest Creator. I pray to you in the name of Jesus Christ and approach you through self-improvement and self-cultivation. Please accept your servant's request and fulfill my wish. Amen. Freedom is the passport to heaven. Xiefeng. May 20th, 2020. Translated by Qinyu and edited by Kair. The biggest difference between heaven and hell is that heaven is freedom but hell is bondage. If you do not know the conditions of heaven and hell, then just look at the human world. Some people are locked in jails and lose their freedoms, some live in debt, being kidnapped and threatened by people around them. Although their bodies are free, their hearts are controlled firmly by responsibilities, obligations, and emotions. This is like living in hell. Some are not fettered by kinships, have no debts to pay, have no worries about eating, clothing, living, transportation, life, old age, or death, nor do they assume any responsibilities or obligations. They begin their work at sunrise and their rest at sunset, being transcendent from vulgar, secular society, and have freedom of their bodies and souls. In the mortal world, the freer people are, the less restrained they are, the more constrained they are, the more restrained they are. One's level of freedom is the touchstone to verify a person's quality of life and taste of life. The higher their level of freedom is, the closer they are to heaven. The lower it is, the closer they are to hell. The higher their level of freedom is, the more colorful their lives are. The lower their level of freedom is, the blander their lives are. How do we measure one's level of freedom? Being free from worries and cares, dread and fears, following predestined relationships, and walking along one's life trajectory proves that one's level of freedom is high. On the contrary, if one cares, worries, and has fears about many things, and is always anxious about their condition, then their level of freedom is low. For a life, freedom is foremost because only with freedom can a soul have space to fly, a mind to travel in boundless space and time, create unrestrainedly, enjoy the fragrance bestowed by nature, and go to heaven. How can one achieve a high level of freedom? Never establish special relationships with anyone. Never assume any responsibilities or obligations. Accrue no debts. Set no goals for yourself. Own nothing. The more you own, the less freedom you have. Promise nothing to anyone. Set no restrictions on yourself. Be unselfish. The more selfish you are, the less free you are. Have no ego. The more obstinate you are in yourself, the less freedom you have. Obey only the will of the greatest creator. Reject all moral preachings and ideas advocated by people. According to my observation, most people are not going toward freedom in their lives, but are shackling themselves constantly. They are not going to heaven, but are running desperately toward hell. Getting married is one example. Doing so is chaining a big iron ball to your ankle. Once you get married, you will have chosen to surrender half of your freedom. Starting a business or company is another example. It is your own vanity, greed, and desire to be outstanding that traps your freedom. Once you have your own company, you will never be free to climb down off the back of your tiger and you will be stuck in the proverbial mud. Everyone wants to be an official. On the surface, that is rich, noble, honorable, dignified, and also glorifies their ancestors, but the truth is that after they become one, there are dangers everywhere. They live hypocritically and always lie to the point where even they do not believe what they say. They cannot say what they want or match their words with their deeds, which proves that they are not free at all. People are born into the realm of necessity. There are 18 factors that people cannot control by themselves. Therefore, as people, no one is truly free in their lives. They are wrapped in the waves of their times and have to rise and fall with them. Therefore, the essence of their lives are tragic. People knowing this take part in self-cultivation and self-refinement, try to get rid of the shackles of the kingdom of necessity, and move towards the kingdom of freedom. However, this road is very difficult. It is like putting two piles in front of you, one of which consists of honor, power, money, beautiful women, handsome men, villas, luxury cars, people's compliments and admiration, while the other one has nothing but a letter of credit called freedom. Which pile do you choose? 99% of the people will always choose the first pile because the temptation of it is so strong, but for sure, those who choose the first pile will definitely lose their freedom. There is only one road from the kingdom of necessity to the kingdom of freedom. This is the tour guide's road map. It is only by following it strictly that one can have any hope of reaching the land of freedom. If any links are omitted, failure is guaranteed. The practitioner's confusion for thousands of years. Xiefeng. January 12, 2021. Translated by Chinyu and edited by Kair. In 2008, I hired an African girl to help with my housework in Zimbabwe. My reason for choosing her was that she went to church every week and I believed that regular churchgoers must be good in both character and in learning. Then my neighbors, an elderly British couple, later told me that she had stolen several things from them when I had her clean their rooms and yard when they went on a trip to South Africa and left their home in my charge. This is being noble when entering the church but absurd when leaving it. Here is a similar phenomenon. Everyone in mainland China who is more than 50 years of age has been educated in Maoist philosophy for decades, but what happened to these people after China's reform and its opening up, especially those who are officials? Needless to say, everyone knows that few of them really serve the people. Instead, they are bribing each other and neglecting their duties to benefit themselves. When Mao was alive, they were the people's servants, but now, they have become their masters. 15 years ago, there was an upsurge of learning about Western spirituality and Osho. The situation at that time can be described as the birth of masters like bamboo shoots after a spring rain. Talented people appeared frequently on the web, everything they said were all spiritual contents, and all of a sudden there was the prospect of creating a new world, but then, 10 years later, the ebbs and flows of the tides disappeared. Many years ago, Master Jing Kong Chendahue's movement to restore traditional culture could be said to have been in the ascendant. For a time, traditional culture seemed to be making everyone become like Yao and Shan, like saints and sages. Sometimes, when a lecture hall is full, it can make everyone feel that traditional cultural values really have the ability to become the model for the world. However, when they come out of that lecture hall and face reality, they are slapped back to their original shapes, which are still being noble when entering the church but absurd when leaving it. Since Chairman Mao left us, there have been waves of spiritual cultivation in China which can be described as, each leading the pack for 3 to 5 years, but no traces of footprints were left on the beach after the storm. Today, people in social media groups are playing all kinds of tricks, and it seems that another time of 100 flowers looming is coming. Masters and experts are born like crucian carp crossing rivers, all sitting straight and seriously, preaching like bodhisattva, and feeling that everyone is drunk but I alone am sober, and they talk about love, awakening, perfection, healing, Buddhism, Taoism, emptiness, and hearts, which all seem reasonable, and might even have profound insights. The sad reality is that no matter who you are, after you have learned so much, spoken so much, and understood so much, you will often find that after just a few years or decades, you are standing in the same place, you have not entered the Elysium world, you are still having constant worries, and that your beautiful bubble has burst instantly. This is the confusion of the practitioner for thousands of years. The problem is that you did not build a life and a life program according to what you have learned and wanted. Without the guarantee of the program, you were quickly, or even instantly, beaten into a prison of trouble by the cruelty of reality, and you had quickly compromised to reality and further surrendered. At this time, you can only sigh. Once you get into this world, you have to deny yourself more or less. This is the reason why I believe that program construction is more important than moral education. Looking back on the history of mankind, people who want to be sages and saints have come in rapid succession, but very few have actually followed through. The key to the problem is that mankind has not built a program that can create many sages and saints and maintain their states throughout their lives. In 2009, I built a program which after 10 years of practice had born nearly 100 sages and saints. If you can imagine, many farmers with only basic school educations have the qualities and understandings of sages and saints, and they live beautifully like celestials. If there were no such program, if I had only written articles on the web which just continued on, then all this would have been impossible, and if I were to abolish this program and let those saints and sages return to their original lives, then before long, they would soon return to being mortal, or even laity. So, I want to tell every practitioner that even if you study online all day and if you have learned something that can be taught to others, if you do not build a program and that supports it, then with only your preaching, it will all come to nothing. If the African girl whom I talked about at the beginning of this article had been kept in an environment like her church, then she would have never developed a heart for stealing and she would never have stolen. My other example was the phenomenon of official corruption. No matter who you were, once you entered the new Oasis for Life program that I created, you would never become corrupt or accept bribes because the program does not have the soil and conditions to ever make you that way. Practitioners, you must step out of this practitioner's puzzle area, or what you have learned and done every day will have been for nothing, and you will learn that in the end, all your efforts will have been illusions and passing clouds. The Ancestor of Buddha's Revelation. Xiefeng. November 10, 2018. Supreme Ancestor of Buddha, I have been self-improving and self-refining for more than 20 years, but I have not obtained anything. Where is the fairness of Tao? How do you self-refine and how do you self-improve? My self-refinement is mainly to enlighten my mind and transform my consciousness, to calm my mind, stop my desire, manage my mind, have a mind of integrity, keep an open mind, have a sedated mind, maintain a pure mind, and to do what I want to do to have a peaceful mind. At the same time, I apply unconventional thinking, gradually separate from the consciousness of animals and humans, and establish the consciousness of a celestial being in Buddha. My self-improvement is mainly selfless dedication and unconditional giving. Meanwhile, I try my best to pay off my debts and finish all my secular ties. What do you want? Why are you questioning the justice of Tao? As a person, I need a gracious life. As an enlightened one, I need to have supernatural powers. However, after improving myself for more than 20 years, I have lost my house, car, money, and haven't got any power, status, fame or fortune, and I have no magic power at all. People around me live better than me. They are all laughing at me. So, I am more and more confused. If the result of selfless dedication and unconditional giving is that I do not live as well as others, Ancestor of Buddha, could you tell me if I have taken the wrong path? You didn't go wrong on the path of self-improvement and self-refinement, but there is something wrong with the direction and goal of your enlightenment, and your understanding is not thorough. Ancestor of Buddha, please give me some guidance. For more than 20 years, you have been almost free from illness and have not encountered any disasters. Do you know how many people have been struggling with illness and have died in disasters in the past 20 years? About 800 million people are suffering from illness, and about 600 million people die abnormally. Don't you think that your safety for more than 20 years is the result of self-improvement and self-refinement? For more than 20 years, you have hardly suffered from insomnia, and you have slept soundly. There are not many annoying things that disturb your mind, and you are not worried about thieves and robbers stealing from you and robbing you. What a blessing! Don't you think it is the result of self-improvement and self-refinement? For more than 20 years, you have known and made many pure confidants. Not only do they cause no troubles and pains to you, but happily accompany you on your life journey. You realize that they will provide you with useful help unconditionally whenever you need them. Isn't this the result of your self-improvement and self-refinement? For more than 20 years, through continuous selfless dedication, you have gradually repaid the debts you owed for many generations. You have gradually finished your secular ties and have been close to heaven. Your future is becoming gradually clear and bright, away from hell, and you are gradually getting rid of the program of reincarnation. Isn't this the fruitful result of your persistent self-improvement and self-refinement? What you get is not only the above, but there are also many more things that I do not need to describe in detail here. When you open your Buddha's eye, you will know everything. You must know that avoiding illness and disaster is equal to gaining, achieving a balanced life and happiness is equal to gaining, paying off your debts and ending secular ties is even more gaining, and being close to heaven is a blessing over a blessing. Do you still doubt the justice of Tao? Are you still confused? I am grateful for your teaching, but I still feel that the result of more than 20 years of self-improvement and self-refinement is emptiness. Compared with the wealthy people around me, I still feel that I have made no practical achievements and I am not confident enough to continue on this road in the future. I understand your feelings. There are countless temptations in life in this world and you have not yet stepped out of the temptation maze. The time for real maturity is very short, and the time for gestation is very long. Your 2 decades of self-improvement and self-refinement belongs to the gestation period, do you understand? Observe how the ewe gives birth to a lamb. The lamb stays in the womb of the ewe before it is born, growing and developing. As long as it has not yet been born, it will always be in the same environment, without seeing the future, without seeing the world outside the womb. Once it is born, it is equivalent to being reborn and fulfilled. The period of fulfillment is very short, but the gestation period is very long. Your 20 years of self-improvement and self-refinement is equivalent to the developing and growing of a lamb in the womb of the ewe. As long as you do not get out of the womb, it is natural and understandable to be confused, but irritability is not necessary. You must be convinced that one day you will get out of the womb and enter the world of nature, and you must believe in the power and rules of these procedures. I am grateful for your teaching and guidance. I understand and my heart is bright now. I will continue to develop and grow in this big womb of the world and strive to be born in the heavenly world one day. Self-improvement and self-cultivation is a science. Xiefeng. January 18, 2022. In the history of the Chinese nation, there were many people who sought immortality, but how many people have become immortals? It is very rare. In the history of the Chinese nation, there were many people who studied Buddhism, but how many people have become Buddhas? Very few. In the history of the Chinese nation, there were many people who learned Qigong and wanted to obtain supernatural powers, but how many people have obtained supernatural powers? Just a drop in the bucket. Why there are so many who learn, but only a few who succeed? The core factor is that everyone regards self-improvement and self-cultivation as a form of metaphysics rather than a science. Laws, verification, and methods are the three elements of science. To self-improve and self-cultivate, one must first determine the purpose. If there is no definite purpose, it is like a leaf blown by the autumn wind in the wilderness. Then one must find the law to reach the destination, which can also be called a road map. If you cannot find the law, road map, you can only practice blindly. After finding the law, road map, you need to verify it. You can verify it on yourself, or on others. What do you verify? You verify that the found law, road map, is correct and effective. If it cannot be verified, the so-called law, road map, is not accurate, and it must be false. If the law is proven to be correct, it is necessary to find the way and the method to reach the destination according to the law. The theories of Chinese immortality, Taoism, and Buddhism lack scientific basis. Are there any laws? No. Is there any evidence? It is rare. Is there a way? No. Of course, you can say that there are 84,000 ways, or that all roads lead to Rome, but 84,000 ways, and all roads, do not necessarily lead to the destination, and it is also possible to walk to a destination that is 1,000,000 miles away from the original objective, or even to do the opposite. Shakyamuni Buddha taught the Dharma for 49 years and finally found that the Dharma could not be expressed in words, and finally had to hold a flower and smile, and created the Zen of avoiding reliance on written words, but on its transmission from heart to heart. This deviates even more from scientific principles. What is Zen? What is the heart? It is totally impossible to give it a scientific definition and quantification. Chinese culture as a whole lacks the spirit of science. For example, Wang Yangming's philosophy of mind mainly focuses on these 3 points, namely, mind is principle, the unity of inner knowledge and action, and the extension of innate knowledge. How can there be any scientific elements in this? The so-called mind, principle, and innate knowledge are all concepts that cannot be quantified, and to study the underlying principle to acquire knowledge is a more ambiguous method. Another example is the current popular China Dream and realizing the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, which are slogans without scientific spirit and are an impractical connotation, or just a bowl of ecstasy soup. Rejuvenation of what? Of course, it is definitely not meant to rejuvenate men to wear braids and women to bind their feet, nor is it to rejuvenate chastity, archways and male superiority, so is it to rejuvenate the theory of yin and yang, 5 elements and 8 trigrams. Rejuvenate 8-character fortune-telling, divination and feng shui. Rejuvenate the state of qi, the state of chu, the state of yen, the state of han, the state of zhao, the state of wei. Rejuvenate the tyranny of King Qin. Rejuvenate Yao, Shun and Yu. What exactly do you rejuvenate without specific connotations? What about the method of rejuvenation? Is this science? When we enter the field of self-improvement and self-cultivation, we will find that almost 100% of these theories and methods have no scientific content. They are all playing with concepts and loading writing with fancy phrases, such as sitting cross-legged, immediate, yoga, the training of qi, expiration and inspiration, opening the governor and conception vessels, the kowtow, and burning incense, chanting mantras, chanting scriptures, turning the dharma wheel, turning the prayer wheel, vipassana, mindfulness, keeping still and being in a state of deep meditation, etc. These have nothing to do with self-improvement and self-cultivation, and have few benefits and many disadvantages. There is only one purpose to self-improvement and self-cultivation, which is to make life happy, joyous, free, and blessed, and to let life continue to sublimate. The way to achieve this goal is to repay your debts and end secular ties, to make contributions to accumulate merit, to perfect the non-material structure of life. These methods have clear connotations and extensions, and must be constantly verified and advanced in a solid manner in accordance with scientific methods. Whether you want to become immortals or Buddhas or go to heaven, or want to live a happy life, you cannot escape the above content. All other teachings and methods are just senseless acts and nonsense talk, or it can be said that they are just some people's means of making a living. Self-improvement and self-cultivation is a science. Self-improvement and self-cultivation without science is elusive thinking. In the end, after several years, a dozen years or even a lifetime self-improving and self-cultivating, you will find that you are still in the same place as before. Only by leaving everything behind can we go far. Xiefeng. October 29, 2022. There will be many temptations on the journey of life, and there will be many things that people can't let go of. When a person chooses the road to heaven, then the temptations along the way are like traps, and any concern in the heart is an obstacle on the way. The road to heaven is very long, and the farther you go, the more beautiful and charming the scenery will be. God Jesus warned us, "He who looks back while holding the plow in his hand is not worthy of entering the kingdom of God." Luke 9 verse 62. When we set foot on the path to heaven, it is equivalent to holding the plow in our hands, and we can no longer look back. Once we look back from time to time, then we are not worthy of entering the kingdom of God. Why should we look back? Because our minds are restless, we have doubts about the path we are taking. On the one hand, we are moving forward, and on the other hand, we are still making comparisons and choices. We are afraid of missing a better path. To put it bluntly, we haven't given up the thought of an alternative. It means that our hearts are inconsistent, not determined. On the road to heaven, the smarter you are, the more flexible your mind is, and the easier it is for you to deviate from the road and go astray. We walked along the way and looked at those former brothers and sisters who have gradually become distant from us. Which of them is not very smart? Only when your heart is dead can you walk a long way. I have already told you that benefit fails intelligence, intelligence fails the mind fails nature. Money, wealth, status, reputation, beauty, etc. are benefits. Once people are blinded by benefits, their intelligence will decrease. Cleverness, shrewdness, ingenuity, and being good at carefully watching what people are saying and doing, and temporizing are forms of intelligence. Once a person is blinded by intelligence, his mind will be somber, and he will not be able to see the view that is in the distance. When people pay attention everywhere, their thoughts are active, meticulous, worried, and full of enthusiasm, their minds are galloping in the boundless time and in space. At this time, their natures are suppressed and imprisoned, and while their minds are flying, their natures will sway. When one's mind is not peaceful, his nature is not clear. Nature is Buddha, nature is God. When one's nature is suppressed and imprisoned, it is equivalent to one's Buddha nature and divinity being suppressed and imprisoned. With one's Buddha nature and divinity being suppressed and imprisoned, of course, one cannot reach the land of Buddha and the kingdom of the greatest creator, that is, one cannot reach heaven. So, die in your heart, and be determined to walk on the road to heaven. One may be able to avoid traps, but not to let go of worries. This is also a very troublesome headache on the road to heaven. Humans are sentient species, and love is the most powerful one of the 36-8 diagram tactics. Where there is love, there is caring. If you care, you will have reversal dreams. If you have reversal dreams, you will not be able to reach nirvana, that is, you will not be able to reach heaven. I can only stop at this point. If I talk too much, I will be confronted by sentient beings. You have to figure this out by yourself. How do you figure it out? By listening to the teachings of Jesus Christ and Buddha Sakyamuni. By knowing one method you will know all, and then you will understand everything. If you want to go a long way, you need to be determined to give up other ideas. If you just want to enjoy the present, you need to be vigilant. The highest realm of cultivation. Xiefeng. November 25, 2023. Translation edited by Chinyo. The following story, I have forgotten its source. Perhaps it was told by my English Bible teacher more than 20 years ago, or maybe I read it in the American Reader's Digest. An elegant lady was walking on the street when suddenly she was knocked down by a man riding a bicycle. The man quickly helped her up, repeatedly saying, "I'm sorry," while the woman, shaking off the dust from her body, calmly said, "I'm sorry, it was me who blocked your way." When someone is knocked down from behind, they would typically either sternly reprimand the man or demand hefty compensation for the mental and physical injuries. But this woman not only did not get angry, blame, or demand anything, she calmly said, "I'm sorry, it was me who blocked your way." Her words implied that the man was right, and the one who was knocked down was wrong. What kind of realm is this? I believe this is the highest realm of cultivation, and cultivators should take this lady as a role model. Over 30 years ago, on a road in Yuzhong County, Lanzhou City, where there were very few vehicles, I suddenly heard the emergency braking sound of a truck from behind. Turning around, I saw the truck driver sticking his head out of the window and shouting loudly at a man riding a bicycle, "Are you looking to die? Damn it!" This driver was full of anger, and if the bicycle had blocked his way, a simple honk would have sufficed as a warning. There was no need for such cursing. This behavior is definitely not characteristic of a cultivator. Cultivators adhere to certain ethical standards. They refrain from scolding, hitting, hurting, annoying, harming, or provoking others. They communicate kindly and behave appropriately. If they can acknowledge their own mistakes and give credit to others, then they are cultivators with a certain level of spiritual maturity and mental breadth. If they are willing to sacrifice their own honor, dignity, property, status, or even their lives to protect the honor, dignity, property, status, or lives of others, then they have reached the highest realm of cultivation. Standards of perfect human nature. Shui Feng. As far as an individual is concerned, perfect human nature is a must for her life to go to supreme life space. As for the all human beings, it is the prerequisites to establish justice, peace and happiness of human value system. Without perfect human nature, individual not only cannot get happiness, but also has no bright future. The mankind can never avoid the state of ups and downs in competition, confrontation and war. The 8 conditions of perfect human nature. Revere greatest creator, revere gods and Buddha, revere other people. No mind of losing and winning, no mind of combating. Revere nature. Modest, trustworthy and honest. Be sympathetic and compassionate. Be able to adjust and stay calm in both good times and bad times. Conform to the laws of nature, seek not the special and abnormal. Love life, love labor. 1. Revere the greatest creator, revere gods and Buddha, respect other people. Revere the greatest creator. We have already known that the greatest creator is the creator of the universe, the Lord of all the gods in the kingdom of heaven, the cradle of life, the birthplace of wisdom, the motive power of the universe, and the energy center of the hyperphysical world. The greatest creator has the 8 features. The greatest creator is unique, formless, neutral, mysterious, impartial, merciful, almighty and wise. He exists in the negative universe in his spirit form, and maintains the orderly operation of the universe by means of Tao, namely mana. The greatest creator has no fixed form. He can become any form of things in the universe. He is not the universe, yet everything in the universe is derived from him. He can accomplish anything as long as he wishes. If he wants the moon be removed, it can be done at any time. If he wants to make the Mars full of vitality, it will soon be realized. We humans have nothing to be proud of. We can neither control the earth's moving, nor our birth and death. We can neither prevent thunder lightning nor control over tube ebb and flow. Without the things bestowed by the greatest creator, we cannot survive for even 1 minute. What has the dauntless revolutionary spirit of fearless to God and fearless to the earth brought us? Nothing but confusion, poverty, ignorance and backwardness. The result of fearing nothing, daring to do anything, the sayings that man being the soul of the universe, man being able to conquer nature is belief crisis, a damaged nature, legal illiteracy and illiterate, demoralization. Everyone has his own standards and claims, I am the number one. What a terrible thing. As the Tao Te Ching, when people have no fear of force, then, as is the common practice, great force descends, that great dread is the greatest creator. If we don't revere the greatest creator, the flood of Noah's time will befall again. Do we dare not revere the greatest creator? Only by revering the greatest creator can we have wisdom, only by revering the greatest creator can we have life and peace, only by revering the greatest creator can we have a bright future. Any infinite exaggeration of the human ability can do nothing but cause the destruction of humankind. As far as an individual is concerned, anyone who doesn't revere the greatest creator will never have a chance to go to the 1000, not to mention 10,000 world and the Elysium world. We can be arrogant and despise animals and plants, we can be bold enough to conquer the space, but our wisdom is far from controlling the thunder and lightning, and ebb and flow. Our wisdom is far from controlling volcanic eruption and earthquake fission, sudden incidents, aging and dying. So please do not say anything profane to the greatest creator. Please do not be cocky and supercilious. How to revere the greatest creator. Reverent to the greatest creator as if walking on wire or treading on the thin ice. Do not ignore the greatest creator, and turn to worship other gods or Buddha or worldly great man. Be grateful to the greatest creator from beginning to end. Do not distort the greatest creator, and do not profane the greatest creator. Could not speak and act in the name of the greatest creator. Revere gods, celestial beings and Buddha. Gods specially refer to the gods who maintain the order celestial universe, for humans, refers to Jesus and Satan. The commander of the gods is Allah, the greatest creator. Celestial beings and Buddha are the angels. Celestial Buddha is mainly the gods. In the universe, gods are above Buddha, Buddha is above man, man is above the animal is above the plant, plants are above the mountain rocks and rivers rivers are above the meteorology, and the meteorology is above bacteria, bacteria is above all living creatures in the hell, all living creatures in the hell are above the suffering creatures in the frozen layer and inflamed layer. There was only one God appeared in the man's world, that is Jesus. In the history of 3 millenniums years, there appeared one Buddha, he is Sakyamuni. The last man in human society got revelation from God is Muhammad. Besides those, every other gods or Buddha are fake and evil. But in the man's world, there are countless celestial beings, Bodhisattva. Due to the shallow knowledge of negative universe, negative space, negative time, antimatter, human being cannot see the matters beyond the light of 400-700 nanometer, and cannot hear the sound beyond 20 to 20,000 Hz frequency outside, so they can't know the gods and Buddha. But we cannot deny the existence of gods and Buddha because we cannot see them. The key to revere gods, celestial beings and Buddha, is to revere Jesus, Laozi and Sakyamuni. Through their disciples Jesus and Sakyamuni had left us a wealth of knowledge and profound wisdom. Through Tao Te Ching Laozi explained to us the meaning of Taoism. What they said is the first rule is to conduct oneself and the path leading to the eternal life. To revere to Jesus, the main thing is to understand and comply with the teachings of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. You must read by yourself, do not listen to the hearsay, and make judgments in order to avoid misunderstanding. To revere Sakyamuni, the main thing is read the sayings of Sakyamuni recorded in Buddha's scriptures and to savor its profound truth. If you don't understand, you can consult Buddhism figures or unworldly higher beings. The most important thing is to get inspiration, to draw inferences about other cases. To dissect a sparrow, you should know the physiological structure of all sparrows. There is no need to dissect them all. When you get the structure of water from anywhere is H2O, then there is no need to conduct laboratory analysis to all the water on the earth. When you realize the truth of Buddha is one, Buddha has no settled rules, then you can know all the Dharma and you can have a general view and no need to study all the voluminous Buddha's scriptures. Revere gods, celestial beings and Buddha, the human nature will be sublimed. Revere gods, celestial beings and Buddha, you can understand the true wisdom. Revere gods, celestial beings and Buddha, you can understand the negative universe. Revere gods, celestial beings and Buddha, you can find the passage to life. Revere gods, celestial beings and Buddha, you will get infinite benefits. Many people regard reverence to gods, celestial beings and Buddha as superstition. This is a great misunderstanding. The known world is small, but the unknown world is very large. We should not limit ourselves in the known world due to our ignorance, and waste our beautiful life. Respect other people. From the standpoint of secular, people are divided into lowliness and nobleness, but from the essence of life, people are equal. No one's life is nobler than ours, nor is their life lower than ours. As a person with perfect human nature, we have to treat life equally, namely to treat people equally, whether he is a president and great scientist, or just a civilian, or an ordinary people, whatever he is healthy and handsome, or disabled or ugly, whether he is a millionaire, or penniless, whether he is centenarians or a just-born baby, whether he is a royal, or in jail, whether believes in Islam or Jainism, we should show our respect to them. What we mean by respect is to accept belief, habits, hobbies, and features different from that of ours. For instance, if you believe in Buddhism, you cannot discriminate against Judaism. If you believe in Christianity, and you can't be egoistic and belittle atheism, you get the habits of drinking tea, but you cannot interfere with those who drink coffee. You like simplicity, but you cannot blame those who like wearing jewelry. You like art, but you should not belittle those who are addicted in commercial making money. Maybe someone would ask, must we respect those who spit everywhere, use drugs, flirt with women, plunder, bully and oppress the kind and the weak as well? My answer is yes. You need to respect them. His habits and conducts only represent that he is uncivilized, ill-bred, demoralized, which is different from the essence of life. The sun shines on everyone, the moonlight spread to all the corners on the earth, there is no garden without its weeds. The essence of life, people only, has no class of high or low level, so we have no reason not to respect them. I list some of the performance showing no respect to others for your reference. Spit and relieve everywhere. Talking loud in public places. Do not flush the toilet and littering. Break into one's house without notifying. Annoying others and disturbing others' business. No queuing, do not take turns to get service. Disturb others' rest and peace. Unpunctual for appointment, meeting, and dinner. Promises were made to be broken. Blow one's nose when eating. Scold or abuse one's wife or children when there is a visitor. Laugh at, mock, and speak sarcastically, abuse, beat others. Abuse, threaten children, including their own children. Deprive children's normal entertainment, force them to learn. Spit on somebody. Yield to seniors. Stare to the youngsters. Unfold others' secrets. Blame the relatives and friends of others. Force others to change their beliefs. Force others to have sex. Limit others' freedom, including wife and husband relation. Ignore others' well-intended respect. Bribe superior and force them to take presents and bring them to a dilemma. Look down upon the disabled. Knock others' door at midnight unless something urgent, blow horns casually when driving. Using vulgar language, swear a lot. Going to a banquet wearing slippers or sloppy dressed. Wear mini skirt or bare-chested in formal occasions. Flirt with others' wife or husband. Keep the borrowed things, and do not to compensate for damages. Waste others' time. Take something or somebody favored by others. Slow driving in the fast traffic lane while fast driving in a slow traffic lane. Do not walk on the pavement in the busy traffic area, cross the road and block traffic. Lying, starting a rumor or making inaccurate reports. Let the dog bite people. Take advantage of one's power to bully people. Put one's feet on the tea table when there is guest. Turn over others' bookshelf without permission. Use defective goods as presents. Selling inferior goods. Start to drive when passengers are not yet on board. Drivers who speak these words, are you looking for death? You want to die? Are you blind, to people who block their traffic? Let dilettanti do the adept work. Using the incompetent as leaders. Ask the experts to do the works they are neither interested nor familiar with. Organize meetings and force others to take into political ideology. Search others' body and purse without official permission. Tracking, investigating and monitoring others with false charges. Mocking, speaking sarcastically and disdaining one's students as a teacher, cracking down students' self-esteem and self-confidence. Finding all sorts of excuses to collect fees. Degrade colleagues and peers. Speak bad words behind others' back. Be jealousy and demean others' achievement. Excessively touting, praising and making negative praise. Onlooking, kicking up a fuss, instigating. Peeping others' letters. Sneeze, cough at others. Deliberately to go public places when informed to have infectious disease. Interference with others' private life. Humiliating others. Let others do business works on holidays or resting days. Farting and taking off shoes and socks in public places. Damage others' image and reputation with false charges. Make random guess and infer others' words and deeds and developing trend as per his personal thinking. Show off extravagancy in front of the poor, and display knowledge in front of the illiteracy. Plagiarize, copy others' research results. Exploit others' labor and rights. stripping others' private property accumulated through hard labor. Enter into others' restricted area without permission. Mining others' ancestral grave. Flashing headlights on full beams to the cars and people in the opposite direction when driving at night. Every speech and practice that embarrassing people. The above-listed performances of showing no respect for others cannot be regarded as a criminal offense, but just because these trivial matters cause the great pains in life. If everybody can respect others, needless to say, the world will be a fairyland. But it is impossible for everyone to learn to respect others, unless the human world is managed and everything from food to transportation are supplied by gods, and then execute compulsory measures, or everybody has already had the perfect human nature. All the other behaviors that violating state laws, or hurting others are not showing respects. 2. Have no sense of winning and losing or rival. The meaning of life lies to pursue truth and be an immortal rather than try to compete and gain victory. A man who doesn't sublimate his own personality, does not pursue the perfect human life, but rather spends all his time and energy to struggle for money and wealth, fame and status, success and victory, glorify and illustrate his ancestors or to leave a name in the history, he is putting the cart before the horse. The only path to the supreme life space is the perfect human nature. All the rest are nothing but the cumbersome and rubbish of life. Those who have no sense of winning and losing or rival should realize that you are unique in this world. You have your own life and the right to pursue a better life. You are behaving yourself in the standards of Allah and the greatest creator, rather than those standards of the secular society. You get proper conditions of existence through labor. You need not to spend precious life for worthless things. As a member of the human society, you should do your duty and obligation, rather than satisfy the vanity and pride for the catering of the world. If you are a piece of grass, you should not envy the upright poplars and delicate peony. If you are a rose, you should not laugh at the small grass and the dull willows. Don't reduce your life standards and bend your knees to the secular because of the persecution of life. Do not force yourself to do something you do not like. Working is for the sake of perfect humanity. If you are prompted and granted with higher ranks, it is fine. It is not right if you dare not to play golf simply because you are a president. It is not right if you dare not to go to the lake for fishing simply because you are Nobel Prize winner, and you cannot forbid yourself to lie down naked in the outdoor bathing place simply because you have been granted as a moral master. Determine not to be the slaves of money, wealth, fame, status, beauty, family, nationality, country, others, or religion. Do not override on anyone, also don't succumb to anyone. You are equal with all other people. The ups and downs, frustrations and tortuous of your life are nothing but the pure ornament of your life. They are not success or failure. So do not be happy for the success and cry for the failure. Anyone cannot suppress you in the name of gods, celestial beings and Buddha, because first you are a man. Nobody should comfort you and guide you with the illusion of the future himself is not clear. You have to enjoy the beautiful life belong to you in this lifetime first. Don't let other people's beliefs, which they can't even follow, to confine you. You should have your own standards. Let others enjoy the competition, contest, combating and fighting. Don't get yourself involved. You should go on your life journey, in your own pace and speed. The most promising one in the human society is not a president, a scientist, a national hero, nor an artist, a writer, an ordinary civilian, but a man with perfect humanity. Shakyamuni Buddha has declared that, I have obtained the passionless samadhi and that I surpass all men. I am, therefore, the highest passionless arhat. Which means once you reach the state of no win and no lose, you reach the highest ideal of being a man. And when you reach this state, you are transcending life and death. You are no longer in need of transmigration. Those who don't like compete and have no preference on winning or losing are the living Buddha, the celestial beings and the great men in the world. The ones who have reached the state of carefree of winning and losing have the following characteristics. Professions. They take what belongs to them. They do not plot, fight for and rob for something does not belong to them. leave the right of life to others and death to themselves when in need. Those who reached a mind of no competition have the following characteristics. Do not accept the evolution view of the law of the jungle, the survival of the fittest. They believe that human society can be in the same boat and coexist with each other peacefully. In any field of human activities, there is a best way of peaceful settlement. There's no need to intrigue, cheat, vie and fight against each other. When people around are attracted by interests and desires, and can't wait for to fight for them, you just stand aside and be indifferent and see how they fight fiercely to blood bleeding. There is no winner in life. Circumstances alter cases. Fortune is variant. Everyone has to go empty-handed in the end. So what is the point to fight and show off? A person who does not know what his tomorrow is like is always a floating cloud, a leaf in the autumn season, a fish in the pond, a worm in the grass. Look back the history, the fighting for success or failure, winning and losing among human beings has little difference with the battles among animals such as flies fighting for blood, mole crickets and ants fighting for food, rats biting and chicken pick, fox and wolf chasing, dragon and tiger fighting. You cannot find too much civilization in that. Time and tides wait for no man. So you should cherish your limited time. Do not let earthly disputes get your mind disturbed. Do not fall in the slough and lose yourself in the fighting for victory. 3. Reverent to nature. Nature is the precious gift given by the greatest creator, and the earth is the homeland for our cultivation. The rising sun, the gentle attractive moonlight, the twinkling stars, the fresh morning, the cool breeze in the evening, the white clouds floating in the blue sky, the rippling sea, the silver shining beach, the boundless prairie, the primeval forest of green pines, the vast Gobi, the running streams, each high mountain, every valley, each landscape, each river, gives us countless beautiful enjoyment, triggers us infinite yearnings and endless imaginations. We are being nourished by nature, and we are unselfishly dedicated by nature. Every piece of grass, every fistful of soil, every insect, every bird, every piece of wind, every drop of water. All are our lifeblood. When we rejoice in the tremendous progress of modern industrial civilization, staring at the dense smoke from big chimney of the industry, when we are enjoying the power output from countless nuclear stations, using the refined diesel, gasoline from numerous refinery, when we block one river after another from in the middle and build those impounding dams, when we hoping the biology gene engineering will bring us peaches greater than the watermelons, how many of us have realized that our human beings are committing chronic suicide, are digging graves to bury ourselves? When human are being cocky and arrogant and believing that man can conquer the nature, when we are in a full swing to destroy the mountain forests for terrace, remove the grassland for cultivated land, fill the puddles of water for farmland, and turn green mountains and rivers for mining plant, does it ever occur to anyone that we are overdrawing the blessing of our offspring in our next life? When the pesticide is used everywhere and there is no trace of insects and birds, when rats are killed by medicine and cats are fed by people, when the fishing net are tightly woven and the fish and shrimp find nowhere to hide, when wanton hunting the wild animals in nature for ivory, rhinoceros horn, velvet antler, musk, bear's paws, bird's nest, monkey brains, snake gale, tiger bones, leopards and so on, when people intend to eat everything, and dare to anything and are fearless to heaven and the earth, how many of us have realized that we are committing sins and accelerating the destruction of human? When people are spending a lot money to buy famous paintings and sculptures for collection and are when people admire Bill Gates and are chasing wealth and trying to make a great fortune overnight and brazenly discharge the waste gas from the factories to the atmosphere, when people allow the sewage of the fertilizer plant to seep into the underground, when people pour the hospital infection virus water into rivers and the waste oil from the ship into the sea, how many of us have realized that we are committing crimes and we are murdering people? People. How to reverent to nature. Do not wear leather jackets or leather shoes or ornaments made